You've probably been told oatmeal is one of the healthiest breakfasts you can eat. It's in every superfood list recommended by doctors, nutritionists, and healthy aging experts. And for good reason. Oats are packed with fiber, help control cholesterol, and can keep you full for hours. But here's what most people don't realize. The way you prepare and eat oatmeal can quietly turn it from a heart-friendly blood sugar balancing powerhouse into a breakfast that slowly sabotages your health, especially after 60. Over time, these small mistakes can cause weight gain around the belly, spikes in blood sugar that drain your energy, inflammation that worsens joint pain, and even nutrient deficiencies that affect your brain and bones. The problem isn't oatmeal itself, it's how we turn it into a sugary, processed, or nutritionally incomplete meal without even knowing it. And here's the scary part. Many of these mistakes are so common that you might be making them every single morning, thinking you're helping your health, when in fact, you're making it harder to stay strong, active, and independent. Today, we're breaking down the 7 oatmeal mistakes that are quietly ruining your health. I'll explain why they're so damaging to the aging body, how they affect your energy, mobility, and long-term wellness, and exactly what to do instead to make your oatmeal a true longevity food. By the end, you'll know how to turn your morning bowl into a meal that fuels your heart, protects your joints, supports your brain, and keeps you feeling younger for years to come. Let's start with the first one, and it's something most people think is harmless, but it's actually the fastest way to turn oatmeal into a blood sugar disaster. Mistake number 1, loading your oatmeal with too much sugar. Oatmeal by itself has a mild, earthy taste. That's why so many people reach for brown sugar, maple syrup, honey, or even flavored creamers to make it taste better. At first, it feels harmless. After all, isn't a spoonful of sugar better than eating a sugary donut? Here's what most people don't realize. Once you add more than about 4 to 5 grams of added sugar to oatmeal, you completely change the way it behaves in your body, especially after 60. That cozy, heart-healthy bowl becomes a blood sugar roller coaster. When you eat a sugar-loaded oatmeal breakfast, your blood glucose spikes quickly. Your body releases a flood of insulin to bring it back down. But for older adults, those drops are more dramatic because our cells become less responsive to insulin over time. The result? You crash hard. By mid-morning, you feel tired, shaky, or craving another carb hit. The bigger problem is what's happening in the background. These repeated spikes and crashes damage the delicate lining of your blood vessels. It's like taking sandpaper to the inside of a garden hose over and over. Over time, that damage contributes to inflammation, stiff arteries, and an increased risk of heart disease and stroke. Harvard research shows that high glycemic breakfasts like sugar-heavy oatmeal can lead to more insulin resistance and belly fat, both of which make arthritis pain and cognitive decline worse. This doesn't just affect your heart. When your blood sugar swings too far in either direction, it impacts your brain chemistry. That's why you might feel mentally foggy or irritable a couple of hours after eating a sweet breakfast. For seniors, that brain fog can make it harder to focus, balance, and stay alert, which directly affects independence and fall risk. The good news? You can still enjoy oatmeal without turning it into dessert. The secret is pairing it with foods that slow digestion. Adding a handful of nuts, a sprinkle of seeds, or a spoonful of natural nut butter helps balance the meal. These healthy fats and proteins keep your blood sugar steady so your energy stays consistent. If you want a touch of sweetness, try adding berries or chopped apple instead of refined sugar. Not only do you get natural sweetness, but you also add antioxidants and extra fiber that feed your gut bacteria. This supports digestion, immune function, and even mood regulation. One woman in her 70s told me she switched from adding 3 spoonfuls of brown sugar to topping her oats with blueberries, walnuts, and cinnamon. Within a month, her morning energy stopped crashing and her joint stiffness eased. She didn't go on a diet, she just gave her oatmeal back its natural balance. So next time you prepare oatmeal, think about whether you're building a breakfast that keeps you steady or one that sends your body on a sugar chase. Your heart, brain, and energy will thank you. Mistake number 2, choosing flavored instant oatmeal packs. Flavored instant oatmeal packets seem like the perfect quick breakfast. Tear one open, pour in hot water, stir, and you're ready to go. The packaging is often covered in pictures of fresh fruit, golden oats, and heart-healthy claims. But here's what most people don't realize. These packets are usually loaded with more sugar and additives than actual nutrition. Many flavored instant oatmeals contain 10 to 14 grams of added sugar per serving, and that's before you add any toppings. That's the equivalent of 2 to 3 teaspoons of sugar hidden in what you think is a healthy breakfast. For seniors, this isn't just a little treat. High-sugar convenience foods accelerate the very problems we're trying to prevent with oatmeal, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and inflammation. Then there's the fiber issue. Steel-cut or old-fashioned oats have intact fiber structures that digest slowly. Instant oats are heavily processed so they cook faster, but that also means your body absorbs them much faster. Instead of steady energy release, you get a quick spike in blood sugar followed by a crash. According to research from the Harvard School of Public Health, this kind of refined carb consumption in older adults can increase insulin resistance and make weight management much harder. Another hidden problem is artificial flavoring and preservatives. While the packaging might say maple or apple, most of the flavor often comes from artificial ingredients or lab-created natural flavors rather than real fruit or spices. These additives may not seem dangerous in small amounts, but over time, they can disrupt gut bacteria, and that's a big deal. Your gut health is directly linked to your immune system, inflammation control, and even mood regulation. For someone over 60, maintaining a healthy gut could mean fewer colds, better digestion, and reduced arthritis flare-ups. One man in his early 70s told me he had eaten maple and brown sugar instant oatmeal every morning for years, thinking it was a heart-healthy choice. But he noticed his morning blood sugar readings creeping higher, even though his overall diet hadn't changed. When he switched to plain rolled oats topped with real cinnamon and chopped apple, his glucose numbers improved within 2 weeks, and he felt fuller for longer. If convenience is important, there's a better way. You can make your own instant oatmeal jars by pre-portioning plain rolled oats with your favorite spices and dried fruit. When you're ready, just add hot water or milk, stir, and enjoy. You control the ingredients so you avoid hidden sugars and chemical additives while keeping all the benefits of slow-digesting fiber. So before you reach for that brightly colored packet, remember, the marketing is designed to sell you a feeling of health, not actual health. Real oatmeal is simple. It doesn't need fake flavors to be good for you, just real food. Mistake number 3, skipping protein. With your morning oatmeal. Most people think of oatmeal as a carb food, warm, comforting, and loaded with fiber. And while it's true that oats are rich in complex carbohydrates, here's what most people over 60 don't realize. If you eat oatmeal alone without adding a source of protein, you're setting yourself up for an energy roller coaster that can leave you hungrier, weaker, and even more prone to muscle loss. Protein is the nutrient that keeps your blood sugar steady, your muscles strong, and your metabolism humming. Yet many seniors underestimate just how important it is in the morning. Overnight, your body goes into a mild fasting state, breaking down stored energy and even small amounts of muscle protein to keep your systems running. If your first meal is a bowl of oats, sweetened with fruit or honey, but no protein, you're giving your body quick energy without the building blocks it needs to repair and protect muscle tissue. This matters more as we age because of a process called sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass that accelerates after age 60. According to the National Institute on Aging, older adults need more protein per kilogram of body weight than younger people to maintain the same muscle function. Without enough protein at breakfast, you miss a critical window when your muscles are most ready to absorb amino acids and rebuild. There's also the blood sugar factor. Oats alone digest faster than people think, especially if they're instant or thin-rolled. Adding fruit on top can raise the glycemic load even higher. Without protein to slow digestion, you get a quick rise in blood sugar followed by a crash a few hours later. That's when you feel shaky, tired, or mentally foggy, not exactly the best way to start your day. I've seen seniors make a small change here and feel a big difference. One woman in her late 60s used to eat plain oatmeal with a little honey and berries every morning. By 10 a.m., she'd be lightheaded and looking for a snack. When she started stirring in a scoop of plain Greek yogurt and sprinkling chopped nuts on top, she noticed her energy lasted until lunch, and she wasn't as tempted to snack on sugary foods later. The good news is, adding protein to oatmeal is easy. Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, milk, soy milk, nuts, seeds, or even a scoop of protein powder can turn that bowl into a balanced meal that fuels you for hours. Think of it this way. Carbs are the fuel, but protein is the repair crew. Without both, you might get moving in the morning, but you won't have the long-lasting energy or muscle strength you need to stay active and independent. Mistake number 4, ignoring the glycemic load of your oats. Most people think all oats are created equal. You might look at the package, see whole grain, and assume it's the same health benefit no matter the type. But here's what most don't realize. Different types of oats affect your blood sugar very differently, and this hidden detail could be quietly sabotaging your health. Rolled oats, steel-cut oats, and instant oats all come from the same grain, but the more they're processed, the faster they break down into glucose in your body. That's why instant oats, even the plain, unsweetened kind, have a much higher glycemic impact than steel-cut oats. For seniors, this is more than just a blood sugar concern. Those quick spikes and crashes can cause energy dips, trigger cravings, and over time, increase the risk of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Think of your bloodstream like a peaceful river. Steel-cut oats release glucose slowly, like a gentle stream feeding the river. Instant oats, on the other hand, are like dumping a bucket of water all at once. It floods, then quickly runs dry. One man in his early 70s told me he was baffled that his morning oatmeal left him exhausted an hour later. The culprit? He was using quick oats every day. When he switched to steel-cut oats and paired them with a bit of protein and healthy fat, his energy leveled out, his morning brain fog lifted, and even his blood sugar readings improved. This isn't about never eating quick oats again, but if you're dealing with unstable energy, blood sugar swings, or stubborn belly fat, it's worth choosing a slower digesting variety. Steel-cut or old-fashioned rolled oats keep glucose steady, protect brain health, and give your body the fuel it needs to stay sharp and active well into the day. Mistake number 5, ignoring the hidden sodium in flavored or instant oats. For many people, oatmeal is a comforting, heart-healthy breakfast. But here's something most don't realize. Even a food as wholesome as oats can quietly load your body with sodium if you're choosing the wrong kind. And for seniors, that extra sodium can be more damaging than you think. Flavored instant oatmeal packets are often marketed as healthy and convenient. They promise quick preparation and a variety of enticing tastes, from maple and brown sugar to apple cinnamon. But take a closer look at the nutrition label, and you'll often find 200 to 300 milligrams of sodium per serving, and that's before adding any toppings. If you use more than one packet, you can easily exceed 600 milligrams before the day even starts. That's nearly a third of the daily sodium limit recommended by the American Heart Association for older adults. Why does this matter so much? As we age, our blood vessels naturally become less elastic. High sodium intake pulls more water into the bloodstream, raising blood pressure and putting extra strain on both the heart and kidneys. This not only increases the risk of heart disease and stroke, but can also worsen swelling in the legs, ankles, and feet, which many seniors already struggle with. Even if you don't add salt to your food, these hidden sources of sodium can quietly push your intake well beyond safe levels. And the impact can be subtle at first, a little more fatigue during walks, slight shortness of breath, or swelling that you chalk up to just getting older. Over months and years, though, it chips away at your mobility, independence, and overall health. The good news is you don't have to give up oatmeal. The fix is to start with plain, unsalted oats. Old-fashioned rolled oats or steel-cut oats are both great choices. If you want flavor, add it yourself using fresh or frozen fruit, a sprinkle of cinnamon, or a drizzle of honey. You'll control not just the taste but also your sodium intake. Another tip is to prepare a batch of plain oatmeal ahead of time and store it in the fridge. In the morning, you can heat a portion and add whatever toppings you feel like that day, berries for sweetness, chopped nuts for crunch, or seeds for extra nutrients. You'll get all the heart-protective benefits of oats without the silent sodium overload. Think of it like keeping your arteries clear and your heart strong. Every time you swap a sodium-heavy packet for a simple homemade bowl, you're giving your body a calmer, healthier start to the day, one that supports your energy, mobility, and long-term vitality. Mistake number 6, ignoring portion size. Oatmeal has a healthy reputation, so it's easy to think, the more, the better. But here's what most people don't realize. Even healthy foods can become unhealthy when the portion size is off, especially for older adults whose metabolism and activity levels change with age. A standard serving of dry rolled oats is about half a cup. That might not sound like much, but once cooked, it expands into a full, hearty bowl. Many people, thinking they're making a modest breakfast, pour in a full cup or more. That's essentially doubling the carb load without doubling the protein or fiber to balance it. For seniors, this matters because large portions of carbs in a single sitting can spike blood sugar significantly, even if the carbs come from whole grains. The National Institute on Aging notes that as we grow older, our cells can become less responsive to insulin, making blood sugar management more challenging. Consistently overshooting portion sizes can contribute to insulin resistance, weight gain, and increased inflammation, all of which can worsen joint pain, slow healing, and reduce energy. It's not just about weight. Large blood sugar spikes followed by crashes can also affect brain clarity. If you've ever felt foggy or sleepy mid-morning after a big bowl of oatmeal, it might not be the oats themselves, it could be the oversized serving overwhelming your system. The fix is simple but powerful. Measure your oats before cooking. Stick to about half a cup dry, and then load your bowl with nutrient-dense, lower-carb add-ins like berries, cinnamon, chia seeds, or nuts. This way, you get a satisfying, filling meal without tipping your blood sugar into roller coaster mode. One retiree told me she used to think her healthy breakfast of a heaping cup of oats was keeping her fit. But after her doctor suggested scaling back and adding more protein and healthy fats instead, she noticed her mid-morning energy returned, her knees didn't ache as much, and she even lost a few pounds without changing anything else. Portion control isn't about eating less food, it's about eating the right amount for your body's needs today, not what it needed 20 years ago. For many older adults, that small adjustment is the difference between a sluggish morning and one where you feel light, steady, and ready to move. Mistake number 7, ignoring the importance of micronutrients in your oatmeal. Most people focus on oatmeal for its fiber and heart-healthy carbs, but there's another side to the story: micronutrients. While oats are a good source of manganese, phosphorus, and magnesium, they are low in certain vitamins and minerals crucial for seniors, like vitamin B12, vitamin D, and calcium. Without these, your breakfast can leave silent nutritional gaps that, over time, weaken bones, sap energy, and even affect memory. This is especially important after 60 because your body becomes less efficient at absorbing nutrients from food. For example, a report from the National Institutes of Health notes that older adults are more prone to B12 deficiency, which can lead to fatigue, numbness in the hands and feet, and cognitive decline. If oatmeal is your main breakfast most days, and you don't pair it with foods rich in these missing nutrients, you could be unknowingly contributing to long-term issues like osteoporosis or memory loss. The good news is that fixing this mistake is simple. Pair your oats with calcium-rich milk or fortified plant milk, add berries for vitamin C, sprinkle flax seeds for omega-3s, and occasionally serve it alongside eggs or a plant-based protein fortified with B12. Some seniors also stir in a spoonful of collagen powder or blend their oatmeal with spinach for an extra mineral boost. Think of oatmeal as the canvas, not the finished painting. On its own, it's a solid base, but without the right colors, it lacks the full picture your body needs to stay strong, sharp, and mobile. When you add those missing micronutrients, your oatmeal transforms from a simple comfort food into a truly complete breakfast for healthy aging. If you've been making even one of these oatmeal mistakes, remember, it's not about guilt or blame, it's about awareness. Every small change you make today has the power to transform your health tomorrow. Think about how many breakfasts you have left in your life. Thousands. Each one is an opportunity to feed not just your hunger, but your heart, your brain, and your future. Imagine waking up with more energy, clearer thinking, and joints that don't slow you down. Imagine feeling confident that every bite you take is adding years of strength and vitality, not quietly chipping away at it. That's the power of getting breakfast right. Now it's your turn. Which of these mistakes surprised you the most? And what's the first change you'll make to your morning oats? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else to start their own transformation.